It was the cold night of 11 January 1966, Tashkent, Soviet Union. India's Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri had just signed the Tashkent Agreement, a peace accord between India and Pakistan after the 1965 war. The cameras flashed, the world applauded, and India signed in relief. But within a few hours, the man who gave us the slogan Jai Jawan Jai Kisan was dead. Official reason? Heart attack. But the real question that still haunts India is, was it really a natural death or a silent murder? Who killed Lal Bahadur Shastri? And more importantly, why? Let's go back to India in the mid 1960s. It was a fragile time. Jawaharlal Nehru had passed away in 1964, leaving behind a vacuum. The economy was struggling, the food crisis was rising, and relations with Pakistan were at their lowest. Shastriji, a man known for simplicity and honesty, rose to power as India's second Prime Minister on 9 June 1964. He was humble, a Gandhian by heart, soft spoken by nature, but iron willed when the nation demanded. In 1965, Pakistan launched Operation Gibraltar, sending our infiltrators into Kashmir. It triggered the Indo Pakistan War of 1965. Under Shastri's leadership, India fought back fiercely. The Indian army captured key territories in Ladakh and Sindh. But behind this military success was a nation bleeding economically. International pressure, especially from the United States and the Soviet Union, pushed both sides toward peace. The USSR, led by Alexei Kozin, offered to mediate. The result was the Tashkent Conference held in January 1966. After long negotiations with Pakistan's President Ayub Khan, Shastri signed the peace accord on 10 January 1966, agreeing to withdraw troops and restore pre-war borders. It was supposed to be a diplomatic victory, but it turned out to be his last day alive. According to official accounts, after signing the agreement, Shastri returned to his Decca, a guest house on the outskirts of Tashkent. He had dinner prepared by his personal cook, Jan Muhammad, around 10:30 p.m. He spoke briefly with his secretary, T.N. Kaul, and the Indian ambassador, Dr. S. Radhakrishna Kaul, and then retired to bed. Around 1:25 a.m., Shastri woke up, coughing violently, struggling to breathe. He called out to his personal servant, Ramnath, gasping for water. Moments later, he collapsed. The Soviet doctor arrived, but it was too late. Shastri was declared dead of a massive cardiac arrest. That's the official story. But here's where the mystery begins. Eyewitnesses say there were blue patches on Shastri's body and blood foam around his mouth and nose. Classic sign of poisoning, not heart attack. No postmortem was conducted, neither in Tashkent nor after the body was brought back to Delhi. His family begged for an autopsy, but the government declined. His wife, Lalita Shastri, later said in interviews, उनके बदन पर नीले दाग थे, उनके लिप्स से झाग निकल रही थी. अगर हार्ट अटैक था तो ये सब क्यों था? If it was just a heart attack, why were there blue marks and foam? The mystery deepened when several key witnesses, including cook Jan Muhammad and interpreter Dr. R.N. Chugh, later died in a strange accident. Dr. Chugh, who treated Shastri first in Tashkent, died in road accident. Just before he was to testify in front of a parliamentary committee, his driver too was killed. Coincidence or cover-up? Historians still don't have a clear answer. The missing post-mortem. One of the biggest red flags was the absence of an autopsy. When the body returned to Delhi, journalists and family noticed blue patches on the face and back. Shastri's son Anil Shastri demanded a post-mortem, but according to government's record, it was not deemed necessary. Even decades later, RTI activities like Anuj Dhar tried to access Shastri's death files. The PMO refused, citing national security and foreign relations. A strange explanation for a 50-year-old case. So, what could possibly be so sensitive about an old Prime Minister death? Let's talk about theories and possibilities. Let's examine the three major theories historians have debated. Theory 1. Natural death. Heart attack. According to official medical reports from the Soviet doctors, Shastri died of myocardial infarction, a sudden heart attack. He had a history of heart problems. He suffered two minor attacks earlier in 1959 and 1964. The stressful Tashkent talks, extreme cold and exhaustion could have triggered another one. Supporters of this view include this then Secretary T.N. Kaul and several Indian diplomats who were present. But this theory fails to explain the blue discoloration, the denial of autopsy, and subsequent deaths of key witnesses. Theory 2. Foreign espionage. KGB or CIA, the Cold War was at peak. The USSR hosted the Tashkent summit. The US was unhappy with India's tilt toward Moscow, and Pakistan was backed by Washington. Sastry had just signed a peace deal signed as favorable to the Soviets. According to some retired intelligence officers, both KGB and CIA had deep interest in India's political leadership. Some theories suggest he might have been poisoned by foreign agents to prevent a shift in India's foreign policy, especially since he was about to visit Moscow the next morning to sign trade and defense agreements. No solid evidence ever surfaced, but the pattern of secrecy and missing medical records has kept this theory alive for decades. Theory 3. International Political Conspiracy. This is the most controversial. When Sastry died, the question of succession immediately arose. Within weeks, Indira Gandhi was chosen as the new Prime Minister, defeating Morarji Desai. Some believe Sastry was an obstacle for powerful political group within Congress and foreign lobbies that wanted a more pliable leader. Sastry had started to gain immense public respect after the 1965 war. His slogan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, had united India across classes. Could his growing popularity have threatened the party establishment? There is no evidence to prove this claim, but there is also no transparency to disprove it. Even more puzzling, the cook Jan Muhammad, who served Sastry his last meal, was never properly questioned in India. He was sent back to Delhi, then disappeared from public record. When journalist Kuldeep Nair, who accompanied Sastry to Tashkent, later revisited the case, he wrote, "It was the strangest official silence I had ever seen. No investigation, no autopsy, no questions, as if everyone wanted to move on." That silence still echoes. Sastri's sudden death shocked the world. Ayub Khan of Pakistan was reportedly in tears. The Soviet Premier Kosyk declared it a personal loss. In India, the Congress scrambled for leadership. Within 50 days, Indira Gandhi was elected Prime Minister. Sastri's death changed India's political trajectory forever. It consolidated the Nehru-Gandhi dynasty, shaped future foreign relations, and buried unanswered questions under layers of bureaucracy, legacy, and memory. Despite the mystery, Lal Bahadur Shastri remains one of India's most respected leaders. He was awarded the Bharat Ratna posthumously in 1966. His ideals of simplicity and selfless service continue to inspire generations. His home in Delhi 1 Motilal Nehru Road is now a museum. Still modest, still simple, just like him, his slogan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, remains etched in India's collective memory, a reminder that national strength lies in the hands of soldiers and farmers. But behind this reverence lies an unanswered truth. Why, after all these years, are Sastri's medical and investigation files still classified? What national security risk could possibly lie in the death of a man who died 59 years ago? So, who killed Lal Bahadur Shastri? Was it destiny or design? Was it a tragic medical episode or a political assassination buried under diplomacy and secrecy? We may never know for sure, because every government since 1966, Congress or otherwise, has refused to reopen the case or declassify the files. Perhaps the real answer lies not in documents, but in the silence that followed his death. As one historian wrote, Lal Bahadur Shastri died quietly, but the question his death raised still screams in India's history. And maybe that's the real tragedy. A man who taught India to say Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan never got justice for his own death. So this is all for this video. Let me know your opinions in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.